Hello. So we have now created our own countries and we have watched the imperialism crash course lesson. And now we're going to do part two of our colonialism activity. So in order to do this, you're going to need a partner. You can find someone else that is working solely online for 10 honors. If you are in need of a partner that way, you could shoot me an email and I will get you in touch with somebody. But the other thing you could do is that you could find a parent or a friend, or I think a little sibling would love doing this with you, somebody else that is like around in your life to do this with you. And if you choose somebody who is not in the class, they obviously do not need to write this little short essay at the end of the assignment. So just have them go through the motions of it and you will play the part of the conquered. Now, if you are working with someone in class, then trade off and decide who is going to be the conqueror and who is going to be the conquered. Okay, so if you are working in class, basically, is how I'm going to describe this. You're meeting with your partner, and you are going to follow these instructions, decide who is conqueror and who is conquered. If you are the conqueror, we'll go through their column first. You are going to take your partner's country. So you're going to take their piece of paper and put it in front of you. Conquered, you're giving your partner your country. You don't get their country. You're going to be without a country, which is sort of the object lesson here, right? So you're without a country now. Your conqueror has two countries. And they're going to take a dark colored marker, a big black marker, and they are going to cross out the name of the country and the name of the cities because they get to rename these places. Basically, if you are the conqueror, you need to keep in mind that you don't want to full out revolt. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to use your persuasive skills to convince them that all the changes that you are making are for their own benefit. They're going to greatly benefit from having you as a kind of paternalistic, like fatherland that can give your technology and can give your education and your great way of life, your religion. You get to give those things to the conquered country. And as you are doing these things, you're going to be verbally telling them about why you are doing them. So justifying why you're doing them and trying to convince them that these are changes that are going to make their country better. So you're going to use your dark marker, you're going to cross out those things and you're going to rename them. So write with your marker on their country, on the actual piece of paper, write down what the new country's name is. And you can use your old country as a sort of inspiration for that. You could have like New England if you were England, but you could or you could like completely rename it, whatever you want to do. Then you are going to rename their cities. Okay, and then you're going to change all of their patriotic symbols. So cross out all of the scribble over all their patriotic symbols because they don't need those anymore. They've got a new flag, a new animal, a new mascot. Like, you can get rid of all of their things and you can decide what the new patriotic symbols are. Now you can do that just by saying like, your patriotic symbols are mine now. It'd be like United States conquers Canada and we say your animal is the bald eagle now. Or you could say, well, I like what I see here in Canada, but you're not going to do the maple leaf anymore. You're going to use, and then you just, I don't know, I've never been to Canada. This is a bad example, but you just randomly choose a Canadian thing and say, that's your new symbol. But you're going to change all of those. You're also going to cross out their declaration and you're going to rewrite their declaration. Now, again, you can use your own declaration as a sort of starting off point. But remember that this is a colony now. This is that you need to remember that you are the conquering country and they are your subordinates. So they need to follow your rules. So figure out how you're going to write that declaration to show that you are the one in power. I also want you to pick up their Bill of Rights and I want you to tear it up. Tear the thing down the middle, tear up the essay about what makes their country unique, and you can give them the pieces if you want. They might like those, as historical artifacts. And then the last thing that you're going to do, and again, if you're working with somebody who is not in our class, they don't need to do this part, but the new short essay, which I didn't write here, is 2 to 3 paragraphs. You are going to be telling your citizens about why they should move to your new colony. Because a big part of controlling these colonies is convincing your own citizenship that it's going to offer these great opportunities over there, because you need people of your own country to influence the new country in terms of like your culture and your religion, but also you need your country to go over there and police and regulate the new country. So how are you going to convince them to do that? All right. Part two here is if you are the conquered. So again, you're meeting with your partner and you give up your country. You have no country in front of you. So why don't you get out a piece of paper and you're going to be recording what it feels like to have the conqueror destroy your country. So you're going to watch them, you're going to listen to their arguments, but as they are doing these things, you're sort of taking notes for yourself and kind of recording what it feels like, right, in the moment. So this doesn't need to be complete sentences or some sort of coherent paper. You could just do bullet points if you want. And basically, after a time of watching this process, you're going to decide, does this feel okay? Like, do you think that, are they convincing you basically that your way of life is actually going to improve? Maybe your country didn't have great access to medical care, and this country is giving you all sorts of new technology for medical care. There's things that this country has to offer you. Colonialism is not just a black or white issue, right? There's lots of areas of gray here. So decide if you feel okay about it. If you feel okay about it, I want you to start writing about how life is going to change for your citizens. So down here, when this guy over here is writing his short essay and the declaration, you are going to be writing about how this process feels and how things are going to be changing for your citizens. Now, if it's not okay with you, if you're watching it and you're like, I spent so long on that drawing of my country's flag and this guy just scribbled it all out and you're mad about it, then I want you to come up with a detailed plan for revolt or revolution. How are you going to get the people of your country on your side, and how are you going to fight back against the conqueror? So you're either going to be writing about how life is going to change, or you're going to be writing about your revolution. And what I'm hoping is if you're writing about those things right down here when the conqueror is writing their short essay, then you'll finish at about the same time. And you can kind of talk to each other about what this process felt like. So when you turn in this assignment, at the top of your paper, make very clear whether you were the conquered or the conqueror and who you were working with.